From a small frontier outpost to a global powerhouse of energy, innovation, and culture. Discover how Houston's rich history shaped the city where ambition knows no bounds. Houston's story begins in 1836, a transformative year in Texas history. It was the year when Texas declared its independence from Mexico, culminating in the pivotal Battle of San Jacinto, where Texian forces, under General Sam Houston, decisively defeated the Mexican army. Amidst this backdrop of newfound freedom, two entrepreneurial brothers, Augustus Chapman Allen and John Kirby Allen, envisioned a thriving settlement along the banks of Buffalo Bayou. Their dream was to establish a commercial hub for the nascent Republic of Texas, a dream that would eventually become the city of Houston. The Allen brothers purchased over 6,600 acres of land near Buffalo Bayou and White Oak Bayou, strategically choosing the location for its proximity to Galveston Bay and the Gulf of Mexico. They named the settlement Houston in honor of General Sam Houston, the hero of the Texas Revolution and the first president of the Republic of Texas. Their aim was ambitious: to create a city that would serve as the political and economic heart of the new republic. To attract settlers and investors, the Allens launched an extensive promotional campaign. They published advertisements highlighting Houston's strategic location, fertile lands, and promising future. These efforts bore fruit, and by the end of 1836, the fledgling settlement was already growing. The Allen brothers built rudimentary infrastructure, including streets, wharves, and warehouses, laying the foundation for the city's development. In 1837, Houston was designated the temporary capital of the Republic of Texas. This decision brought an influx of politicians, diplomats, and settlers, elevating the city's status. The arrival of the government sparked a flurry of activity as hotels, saloons, and trading posts sprang up to accommodate the growing population. While the capital was later moved to Austin, Houston's brief tenure as the political center of Texas solidified its importance in the region. Life in early Houston was not without challenges. The settlement faced frequent flooding due to its low-lying location near Buffalo Bayou. Mosquito-borne diseases like malaria were rampant, and the city's infrastructure struggled to keep pace with its rapid growth. Despite these hardships, Houston's settlers demonstrated remarkable resilience. They forged a community built on cooperation and shared ambition, overcoming adversity to lay the groundwork for future prosperity. From its inception, Houston's economy was rooted in trade and agriculture. The city's location near the Gulf of Mexico made it a natural transportation hub, facilitating the export of cotton, lumber, and other goods. Steamboats became a common sight along Buffalo Bayou, linking Houston to Galveston and other Gulf Coast ports. These waterways were the lifeblood of the city, driving its early economic success. The introduction of railroads in the mid-19th century further boosted Houston's economic prospects. By the 1850s, the city was connected to regional and national markets, enabling the efficient movement of goods and people. Railroads not only enhanced Houston's role as a trade hub, but also attracted businesses and settlers, fueling its growth. As Houston grew, so did its cultural and social institutions. Churches, schools, and newspapers emerged, reflecting the community's commitment to education and civic engagement. The city's first newspaper, the Telegraph and Texas Register, began publishing in 1835, providing a platform for news and discourse. Religious organizations played a vital role in shaping Houston's moral and social fabric, with denominations like Methodists, Baptists, and Catholics establishing congregations. The outbreak of the Civil War in 1861 brought significant changes to Houston. As part of the Confederacy, the city became a key center for transportation and supply lines. Its railroads and port facilities were critical for moving troops and goods, and the city hosted Confederate military installations. However, the war also brought hardship, with blockades disrupting trade and resources becoming scarce. Houston's resilience during the war was evident in its ability to adapt. Local industries shifted to support the Confederate war effort, producing weapons, uniforms, and other supplies. The city's population grew as refugees from other parts of Texas sought safety in Houston. By the war's end in 1865, Houston had weathered the conflict and was poised to rebuild and expand. The Reconstruction era following the Civil War marked a turning point in Houston's history. The city began to recover from the devastation of war, rebuilding its economy and infrastructure while navigating the complex social and political changes of the time. By the late 19th century, Houston had firmly established itself as a regional economic hub, and the discovery of oil in the early 20th century catapulted the city into a new era of prosperity and global significance. The Reconstruction period brought challenges as Houston grappled with rebuilding its infrastructure and economy. Railroads became a critical component of the city's recovery, with the Houston and Texas Central Railway and the Galveston, Harrisburg, and San Antonio Railway connecting the city to major markets. These rail lines facilitated the movement of goods such as cotton, lumber, and cattle, which became key drivers of the post-war economy. The Houston Ship Channel project, initiated in the late 1800s, was another transformative development. By dredging and widening Buffalo Bayou, the city aimed to create a deep-water port capable of accommodating larger vessels. This ambitious project laid the foundation for Houston's future as a global trade center, attracting investments and boosting commerce. Houston's economic base expanded during the late 19th century, with industries such as manufacturing, shipping, and agriculture playing prominent roles. Cotton remained a dominant export, with Houston serving as a vital shipping point for the surrounding region's plantations. Lumber mills and brick factories emerged to support the city's construction boom, while banking and financial institutions grew to meet the demands of a burgeoning economy. As Houston's population grew, so did its cultural and social institutions. The establishment of Rice University in 1912 marked a milestone in the city's commitment to education and innovation. The university quickly gained a reputation for excellence, attracting students and scholars from across the nation. Other cultural landmarks, such as the Houston Symphony, founded in 1913, and the Museum of Fine Arts, established in 1924, reflected the city's growing appreciation for the arts. Urbanization brought challenges as well. The rapid influx of people strained Houston's infrastructure, leading to overcrowding and public health concerns. Efforts to modernize the city included the construction of paved roads, sewage systems, and public parks, which improved living conditions and enhanced Houston's appeal as a place to live and work. The discovery of oil at Spindletop near Beaumont in 1901 was a watershed moment for Houston. The subsequent Texas oil boom transformed the city into a center for the energy industry. Entrepreneurs and companies flocked to Houston, establishing operations that would shape the city's identity for decades to come. Humble Oil, founded in 1911 and later known as ExxonMobil, became one of the major players in Houston's oil economy. Refineries, pipelines, and storage facilities were constructed throughout the region, creating jobs and attracting skilled workers. The influx of wealth from the oil industry spurred economic growth in other sectors, including real estate, retail, and entertainment. The completion of the Houston Ship Channel in 1914 further solidified the city's position as a global trade hub. The channel connected Houston to international markets, enabling the export of oil and other goods on an unprecedented scale. This infrastructure development attracted foreign investments and established Houston as a key player in the global energy market. The early 20th century also brought significant social and political changes to Houston. The rise of labor unions reflected the growing awareness of workers' rights, as employees in industries such as oil and railroads sought better wages and working conditions. Women's suffrage movements gained momentum, with Houston women playing active roles in advocating for the right to vote, which was achieved nationally in 1920. Houston's diverse population added to its vibrant social fabric. Immigrants from Europe, Mexico, and other regions contributed to the city's cultural richness, introducing traditions, cuisines, and festivals that became integral to Houston's identity. However, racial segregation and inequality remained significant challenges, prompting the emergence of civil rights organizations and leaders dedicated to addressing these issues. By the 1920s, Houston had transformed from a frontier town into a thriving metropolis. The city's strategic location, entrepreneurial spirit, and resourcefulness had positioned it as a leader in trade, industry, and culture. The oil boom marked the beginning of Houston's rise as a global city, setting the stage for the remarkable developments that would follow. The Great Depression of the 1930s and the events of World War II marked two pivotal decades in Houston's history. These periods brought challenges and opportunities, shaping the city's trajectory and solidifying its role as a global leader in energy, industry, and innovation. The economic downturn of the Great Depression affected nearly every aspect of life in Houston. Unemployment rates soared, businesses shuttered, and families struggled to make ends meet. However, Houston's strategic industries, particularly oil and shipping, helped it weather the economic storm better than many other cities. New Deal programs under President Franklin D. Roosevelt provided much-needed relief. Federal funding was channeled into public works projects, creating jobs and revitalizing infrastructure. The construction of schools, parks, and public buildings, such as the Houston City Hall, completed in 1939, reflected the city's commitment to modernization. These projects not only improved living conditions, but also laid the groundwork for future growth. The Houston Ship Channel continued to be a lifeline for the city's economy. Despite the economic challenges of the era, investments in the channel ensured its capacity to handle larger ships and increased cargo volumes. This foresight paid off as Houston remained a critical hub for trade and industry. The outbreak of World War II in 1939 brought profound changes to Houston. The city's industries played a pivotal role in supporting the war effort, with oil refineries supplying the fuel needed for Allied operations. Houston's shipyards became centers of activity, producing Liberty ships and other vessels essential for transporting troops and supplies. Ellington Field, an airbase near Houston, served as a training ground for pilots and a center for military operations. The Texas Medical Center, established in 1945, began its journey toward becoming the world's largest medical complex, reflecting Houston's growing focus on healthcare and innovation. The war also brought demographic shifts. Workers from across the country moved to Houston for wartime jobs, leading to a population boom and the rapid expansion of neighborhoods and infrastructure. The influx of people added to Houston's diversity, with newcomers bringing their traditions and cultures. Socially, the war laid the groundwork for significant changes. Women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers, taking on roles in factories, offices, and other sectors. This shift challenged traditional gender roles and set the stage for the post-war women's rights movement. Similarly, African Americans contributed to the war effort while advocating for civil rights, planting the seeds for the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s. By the end of World War II, Houston had emerged as a city poised for unprecedented growth and innovation. The investments made during the Depression and the war had modernized its infrastructure and diversified its economy. As veterans returned home and industries transitioned to peacetime production, Houston was ready to enter a new era of expansion and prosperity. The post-World War II era marked a period of remarkable growth and diversification for Houston. By the 1950s, the city was on the cusp of transformation, driven by a burgeoning population, expanding industries, and innovative infrastructure projects. Houston's identity as a hub of energy, healthcare, and space exploration was solidified during this era, setting the stage for its emergence as a global city. As Houston's population surged, the demand for housing and infrastructure grew exponentially. Suburban developments flourished, with neighborhoods such as Bel Air, West University, and Sharpstown becoming desirable residential areas. Construction of the Gulf Freeway in 1948, Texas' first freeway, heralded a new era of mobility, connecting downtown Houston to outlying suburbs and stimulating economic growth. The 1950s and 1960s saw the development of an extensive highway system, including the construction of Loop 610 and Interstate 10, which facilitated the city's rapid expansion. The city's leaders recognized the need for long-term planning, and initiatives such as the creation of the Metropolitan Transit Authority of Harris County, Metro, in the 1970s laid the groundwork for improved public transportation systems. Established in 1945, the Texas Medical Center, TMC, expanded dramatically during this period, becoming a cornerstone of Houston's economy and reputation. Institutions like the Baylor College of Medicine, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and the Texas Heart Institute pioneered advances in medical research and patient care. The medical center attracted top physicians and researchers from around the globe, solidifying Houston's status as a leader in healthcare and innovation. Houston's designation as the site of NASA's Manned Spacecraft Center, later renamed the Johnson Space Center, in 1961 was a pivotal moment in the city's history. This decision not only brought prestige but also positioned Houston at the forefront of the United States space program. The center became the hub of groundbreaking achievements, including the Apollo moon landings. The phrase, "Houston, we have a problem," uttered during the Apollo 13 mission, immortalized the city's connection to space exploration. The Johnson Space Center employed thousands of engineers, scientists, and support staff, fostering a culture of innovation and excellence. Public interest in space exploration surged, and Houston embraced its identity as Space City. Houston's economy diversified further during this era. The energy industry remained a dominant force, but the city also became a center for banking, manufacturing, and international trade. The Port of Houston, one of the busiest in the nation, facilitated global commerce, particularly in petroleum products. Culturally, Houston flourished. The establishment of the Alley Theater in 1947 and the Houston Grand Opera in 1955 enriched the city's art scene. The Astrodome, dubbed the eighth wonder of the world, opened in 1965 as the first domed stadium, showcasing Houston's ambition and innovation. Events like the Houston Livestock Show and rodeo became iconic traditions, reflecting the city's blend of urban sophistication and Texas heritage. The civil rights movement of the 1960s brought significant social and political changes to Houston. Activists fought for desegregation and equal rights, leading to the integration of schools, public facilities, and workplaces. The city's diverse communities played an active role in advocating for change, and Houston became a model of relatively peaceful progress during a tumultuous era. By the end of the 1980s, Houston had solidified its position as a dynamic and forward-looking metropolis. Its achievements in space exploration, healthcare, and cultural innovation had earned it a reputation as one of the most important cities in the United States. The modern era has seen Houston continue to grow and evolve, balancing its historical roots with a commitment to innovation and inclusivity. The city's economy, infrastructure, and cultural identity have all undergone significant transformations, shaping Houston into one of the most dynamic and diverse cities in the world. While energy remains a cornerstone of Houston's economy, the city has diversified significantly. Industries such as healthcare, biotechnology, and aerospace have become integral to Houston's economic landscape. The Texas Medical Center continues to lead in medical research and innovation, while the Johnson Space Center remains a hub for NASA's human spaceflight program. Houston's role as a global city is evident in its international trade and commerce. The Port of Houston is one of the busiest in the world, facilitating the export and import of goods ranging from petroleum to consumer products. The city's status as a major player in the global energy market has been reinforced by its hosting of the annual Offshore Technology Conference, which attracts industry leaders from around the globe. Houston's cultural scene has experienced a renaissance in recent decades. The city is home to world-class institutions such as the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston, and the Houston Symphony. Neighborhoods like Montrose and the Heights have become centers of creativity and expression, hosting art galleries, music venues, and culinary innovations. Diversity is one of Houston's defining characteristics. The city is home to people from over 140 countries, making it one of the most ethnically diverse metropolitan areas in the United States. This diversity is reflected in Houston's food, festivals, and cultural events. Celebrations such as the Houston International Festival and the Lunar New Year festivities highlight the city's multicultural heritage. Houston's rapid growth has brought challenges, particularly in infrastructure and urban planning. The city has faced issues such as traffic congestion, urban sprawl, and vulnerability to natural disasters. Hurricanes, including Harvey in 2017, have underscored the need for resilient infrastructure and disaster preparedness. In response, Houston has embraced initiatives to address these challenges. Projects such as the expansion of green spaces, improved public transportation, and the development of flood mitigation systems reflect the city's commitment to sustainability and resilience. The Buffalo Bayou Partnership, for example, has transformed the area into a vibrant urban park, enhancing quality of life for residents. The COVID-19 pandemic tested Houston's resilience, as it did for cities worldwide. The Texas Medical Center played a crucial role in managing the crisis, providing care, conducting research, and distributing vaccines. Houston's diverse economy helped it navigate the economic impact of the pandemic, demonstrating the city's adaptability and strength. Houston's future is defined by its commitment to innovation and inclusivity. As the city continues to grow, it remains focused on addressing challenges such as climate change, economic inequality, and urban development. Initiatives in renewable energy, education, and technology are paving the way for a more sustainable and equitable future. From its founding as a frontier town in the Republic of Texas to its status as a global powerhouse, Houston's history is a testament to resilience, innovation, and ambition. Its diverse communities, dynamic industries, and cultural vibrancy make it a city like no other. As Houston moves forward, it continues to honor its rich heritage while embracing the opportunities of the future, proving that the city's spirit is as vast and enduring as Texas itself.